On a shelf in nearly every garden center, there is a small plastic tub of grayish powder. It promises roots. It costs more than the cuttings you dip into it, and most people buy it without ever asking what's inside. Meanwhile, in a jar on a kitchen counter, a handful of lentils has been quietly making the very same thing, for free, overnight. The molecule that powder sells in a tiny bottle is one a sprouting seed floods through itself the moment it wakes up. It even has a name, auxin, and nature hands it out for free. So why are we paying for it? The answer runs from a plant's own chemistry back to a kitchen habit most of us were never taught. Here is the truth the record keeps, even when the garden supply aisle forgets it. A seed cannot sprout without making the same hormone we sell to make cuttings root. The archive opens, not in a laboratory, but on a windowsill, where a jar of sprouting lentils is doing chemistry that took science decades to name. This channel does not sell miracles. It deals in what can be documented, identified, and tested, and the documents are clear. The rooting compound in that expensive powder has a name, a history, and a free, living source. Over the next few minutes, we'll do what the quick how-to videos skip. Name the molecule, weigh honestly what it can and cannot do, and rebuild the recipe your great-grandparents might have used without ever knowing the word for it. Start with the powder itself, because the mystery dissolves the moment you read the label. Commercial rooting hormones are built around synthetic auxins, usually a compound called indole butyric acid, or a related one called naphthalene acetic acid. Auxin is the plant world's master signal for growth. When you cut a stem and strip its lower leaves, auxin is what tells the wounded tissue to stop being a stem and start being a root. Here is how it works. At the cut, the plant first forms a pale mass of unspecialized cells called callus. Auxin is the instruction that pushes some of those cells to become root primordia, the first tiny root tips, which then push out as adventitious roots, roots that grow where roots don't normally grow. The plant makes its own auxin, but a lonely cutting often doesn't have enough at the wound to trigger the process fast, before it rots or dries out. That is the entire reason rooting hormone exists, to hand the cutting a head start. And the molecule nature uses for that job is the original auxin, the one a sprouting seed produces in abundance. So why lentils? Why any sprout at all? A dry seed is asleep. The moment it takes on water and germinates, it switches on a flood of growth signals to build a root and a shoot from almost nothing, and auxin sits at the center of that surge. A sprouting seed is, briefly, one of the most concentrated little auxin factories in the natural world. Soak lentils, let them sprout for a few days, and you are growing hormone, not food. This is not new. Long before a single bottle of synthetic rooting powder existed, growers coaxed cuttings to root with water that seeds and sprouts had soaked in, passing the trick hand to hand. Picture the older generation here. A jar on the sill, a handful of pulses, water gone cloudy and faintly sweet. The knowledge was ordinary. It was kitchen table chemistry, until it was replaced by a label and a price. Now the part the quick videos never say out loud. We do not know exactly how much auxin is in a jar of blended lentil sprouts. The concentration depends on the seed, the soak, the temperature, how long they sprouted, how much you dilute it. It is real, and it is variable. So be honest about what this is. Homemade sprout water is a gentle free boost, not a calibrated dose. A commercial bottle gives you a known, consistent concentration, and for difficult woody cuttings that reliability genuinely matters. This is not a miracle, and it does not work on every plant or guarantee that anything roots. What it offers is different. A no-cost, no-chemistry set option for the easy and medium cuttings most home gardeners actually take, and a way to understand the process instead of just buying it. Use it as a head start, not a promise. And sprout water isn't alone on the old shelf of free rooting aids, which is exactly why it's worth sorting fact from folklore. Willow water is the famous one, and it has the strongest case. Willow genuinely contains both a natural auxin and salicylic acid, a compound that helps cuttings fend off infection. It's the closest folk rival to the bottle. Honey is the misunderstood one. Honey is not a rooting hormone. It contains no auxin. What it offers is antimicrobial protection, helping keep a cutting from rotting while its own hormones work. Useful, but for a different reason than people think. Cinnamon is the same story, an antifungal, not a hormone. It guards the wound. It does not signal roots. Read honestly. The lineup splits in two. Sprout water and willow water supply the signal. Honey and cinnamon guard the wound. Used together, they cover both jobs, and not one of them needs a store. So how do you actually make it? The record is simple, and the details matter. Start with about half a cup of whole lentils. Any dried whole pulse will do. Rinse, then soak overnight. The next morning, drain them, and leave them in a jar with its mouth covered by a breathable cloth, somewhere warm and well lit. Rinse once or twice a day. Keep them in the light, not the dark. Sprouts that green up are photosynthesizing, and that supports the hormone surge you're after. In 3 to 4 days, when the little sprouts are roughly a centimeter or two long, they're ready. Now blend. The ratio that works is about 1 cup of sprouts to 2 cups of cold water. Cold, not warm, to protect the delicate compounds. Pulse in short bursts until the water turns milky. Then comes the step most people skip. Filter it. Blending releases starches, sugars, and seed fragments, and those are exactly what bacteria and fungi feed on. Pour the liquid through a fine sieve or cloth, bottle it, and let it settle in the fridge for at least a day so the starch sinks. Pour off the clearer liquid above the sediment. That clearer tonic is your rooting water. Because it's alive with sugars, this is where honesty about safety matters. Fresh sprout water does not keep. In the fridge, use it within about 5 days. After that, the same nutrients that help your cuttings are feeding a science experiment you don't want. If you want to store it, freeze the undiluted tonic in ice cube trays. Then keep the cubes in a sealed bag for around 1.5 to 2 months at most. Always dilute before use. With fresh tonic, 1 to 2 tablespoons per cup of water is plenty. With a frozen cube, let one melt into about 2 cups of water and come to room temperature before it touches a cutting. Once you've diluted it, use it. Don't refreeze it. And, one practical line. Keep everything clean. Cloudy, sour-smelling, or moldy tonic goes in the compost, not on your cuttings. You're making a mild plant tonic in a kitchen. Treat it with the same hygiene you'd give food. Which cuttings actually benefit? This is where the comments always fill up. With roses, with lavender, with rosemary, with lemon verbena. And the honest answer depends on the wood. Soft green cuttings, like mint, basil, tomato side shoots, and coleus. Root so easily they barely need help. Sprout water just speeds them along. The real test is the half-woody cuttings. Roses, lavender, rosemary, lemon verbena. These are slow, stubborn rooters, and a head start of natural auxin is exactly where a gentle boost earns its place, though for the hardest woody stems, a known commercial dose may still root more reliably. Take your cutting, strip the lower leaves, and soak the base in the diluted tonic for 10 to 15 minutes before planting. Then give it humidity. A cut bottle or a clear bag over the pot makes a simple greenhouse. And I'm curious, so tell me in the comments, what are you trying to root right now, and what has stubbornly refused to root for you before? One note. Whatever you're propagating, follow the laws where you live. The chemistry is the same. The rules are yours to know. Step back, and the real question isn't botanical, it's human. How does a free, kitchen counter method slip out of common knowledge? Not with a ban, not with a scandal. With convenience, one tidy bottle at a time, until the jar on the windowsill is replaced by a price and a brand. The deeper loss isn't the few dollars saved, it's the understanding. Knowing why a cutting roots, instead of just buying the powder that makes it happen. This archive exists to reverse that order. Understand it first, then make it, then grow. So the next time you pass that small tub of gray powder on the shelf, you'll know exactly what's inside it, and what a handful of lentils and a jar of water can do for free. The archive closes, but the cutting on the windowsill is still reaching for roots, and now the record is yours to keep. If recovering what was quietly replaced matters to you, stay close. There is a whole shelf of forgotten garden knowledge still out there, and the next file, on rooting the roses everyone keeps asking about, is already waiting to be opened.